And welcome back to another edition of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. I am your host, Magic Man, aka Sean Grace. And with me this good evening is Laker Nick. Laker Nick, welcome to Lakers Fast Break.
Hey Sean, it's great to be here. Thanks for hosting Magic Man and thanks for having me on.
Always, man, always enjoy your astute observations. Now, today we'll be discussing the NBA observations, and on deck is the obvious inaugural NBA in season tournament. I mean, the NBA has really marketed this thing to death, Nick. They're hoping it's in like a lamb, out like a lion, because it hasn't been met with either great fanfare or either critical acclaim from the advertisement and the amount of time they've spent trying to make fletch happen and fetch happen. I don't think it's going to catch on. What are your observations of what you've seen from the NBA's marketing ploy here, which is what I think it is?
Yeah, Sean, I think you hit it right on the head. I think that the in-season tournament, it is a marketing ploy, but ironically, I don't think it's been marketed all that well. The banner I've seen around Twitter and other forums is that a lot of people don't even know one, when it's starting, two, what it means, and three, what teams get if they do win. So there's a basically a void of information that has not been filled by the NBA and their executives or administrators. So I just see the in-season tournament as causing a lot of confusion and then not a lot of enthusiasm.
Well phrased. Well phrased, my good sir. With that being said, I gotta say, Nick, did you watch that really cheesy Michael Imperioli commercial?
Yeah, it was very cheesy, Sean. Yep.
Yeah, it was. And I think that's completely emblematic of kind of what this thing has turned into. It's just a giant dog and pony show. Not no real intrigue behind it. I mean, as we speak, Nick, um, people are doing probably other important things on a Friday night rather than tuning into the NBA in-season tournament. As you've said, it was marketed very poorly, and like you said, devoid of basic information and facts. That being said, we need to discuss it. So, have you watched any of the games tonight?
I've only looked at the box scores, Sean,
Okay.
and indeed, I'm just confused. Maybe you could fill not only myself in, but the audience as well as to the basics. Like, what's the format? Is it a group stage? Is it a knockout stage? How
Yeah.
many games does each team play? Things of that nature.
Yeah. So, I mean, each team is going to play one home game, and one road game, and at that point, the group stage will finish, and then there will be a knockout stage. Um, it's really weird. There's five teams in each group, so it's going to be it's going to be a combination of just a really confounding group play at times, Nick. I mean, again, that this whole idea was strung together uh with the obvious um ace in the hole, or what they thought was the ace in the hole, is that if we put these games on Tuesday and Friday on non-football dates during the fall, that it might hold some extra meaning or significance. And I don't think it will. So just to give everybody a good indication, so right now, Group B is basically in action right now. The Knicks and the Bucks. Right now, the Bucks are up 101-97 on the Knicks. I've been watching this game. Essentially, Nick. Milwaukee is going to be a Jekyll and Hyde season team all season long, I think, until around the All-Star break. Then I think they're going to either really start to cook or be good enough to roll into the postseason as long as they're healthy. Their main bugaboo is this, brother. Tonight, the three has been falling for them, but they are shooting very poorly on their twos. Their perimeter defense is not very good. So in the group play, if your perimeter defense is bad, same with I'm not sure if you're a soccer fan or not, Nick. If your midfield and defense is poor in football, that really makes it easier for you to be picked apart. And I think ultimately Milwaukee may walk away with this uh, cup, or they could find themselves, not even in the knockout stage based on their defense.
No, thanks for the rundown, Sean. And I think you know, you're completely right as far as your impressions of the in-season tournament. I see that the winners on each team, the players themselves, are receiving $500,000. That's probably not much of an incentive for a highly paid star, but that's a nice chunk of change, and hopefully that does motivate some of these players to at least give more than a decent effort. Sean, the mic is on mute.
I was gonna say I would agree with you, Nick, in that sense. In the other group play, right now, the Heat are mauling the Wizards. I was just saying it's the song remains the same, or as Stephen King wrote in oh God, I want to say it was the what was that movie with oh forgive me, Nick. I'm kind of
W-
scrambling here.
was it Carrie?
No, no, it
No.
was
Misery?
no, no, it was with that guy from Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise, Jason something.
The Green Mile?
No, no. Anyway, suffice it to say, it's SSDD, same blank, different day with the Wizards. They're just being mauled right now. Just um, Jordan Poole sucks last year, Nick. The song remains the same. He's terrible. Um, Group A play will be this evening. That's the on the back of the doubleheader tonight, Nick. That's our group. The Memphis Grizzlies will be in Portland to play the Trailblazers. Uh, what are your impressions of both teams early on, given the fact that Memphis is the only winless team in the NBA right now? Do you think they get their first victory tonight against the Blazers?
um, yeah, that's a tough one, Sean. I mean, I had them actually at the top of the Western Conference when it's all said and done in the season, and so I'm slowly regretting that decision. And I'm just surprised of how the Grizzlies have started off the season, right? I mean, the roster, even though they don't have Morant, I mean, they do have players like Marcus Smart, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., um, Xavier Tillman, Zaire Williams. So, these are more than decent players. Also, with Derrick Rose coming off the bench, who's been actually fairly solid for them as a rotational player. So I am confused as to why they're losing every game so far. Hopefully, they're able to turn it around tonight. But yeah, it's going to be tough for them.
They're going to be in tough. As a matter of fact, Nick, early observations again, just a week and a half in here. Memphis's big problem isn't Marcus Smart, and it's not Desmond Bain, and it's not Triple J. They're all basically playing their basic games. The issue that the Grizzlies have, Nick, is they don't really have a number two when without Ja Morant, and they need a number two without Ja. Um, you don't really. They are. They think it's synergistic. It's jaw plus synergy. I don't really think they have a true number two, even though a lot of people would consider Desmond Bain their number two. I don't think he's a true number two just yet. That being said, they don't have a closer, man. Memphis historically, at least in the past like 15 years, Nick, they've they've seemed to always have a closer. They had Rudy Gay, then they had Zach Randolph, and then they struggled for a bit. John Morant became their closer, so they don't really have a finisher. That's their big issue. No, there's no killer on that team that can take over the game when they need it the most. And I think that's kind of what's hindering them. They'll be fine. Like I always figured that Marcus Smart trade was an 82 game trade. It wasn't a 25 game trade. I think they need to get back to 500 very quickly, Nick, or you're right. It could get away from them in the West just based off the level of competition and what other teams are facing. As for the Blazers, this is a work in progress. We'll see what transpires, but nothing to really make heads or tails with them about. As we continue on, Nick, um, going back to the play right now, the game of the year is happening right now in OKC between the Warriors and the Thunder. Right now, with just a little under 7 minutes to play, it's the Thunder 127, the Warriors 121. It's been a barnstorming game from the get go, Nick. And the Thunder are being this efficient without Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So this is one of those games where, you could look back on and think that this could be a playoff matchup come April.
No, that's right, Sean. And OKC, I mean, it's they just have a solid young group of players there. I'm seeing that Chet Holmgren has a very solid 7 for 9 shooting night so far. He's 2 for 2 from three. He's made all his free throws. He has 8 boards, 5 assists, 22 points. I mean, for a rookie, I mean, you can't ask for much better. And then, meanwhile, I should point out that, Steph Curry, not just this game, but in games prior, I mean, he hasn't shown his age. As a 35-year-old, he's still being extremely productive. I have to acknowledge that, as he's aged, his game has also aged gracefully with him. I mean, he's 50% from three right now, 5 out of 10, 7 for 7 from free throw. 6 assists, 26 points, 7 rebounds. Again, you can't ask for much better than that for a 35-year-old on a very I would just say eclectic mix of players on the Golden State Warriors with the inclusion of CP3, who
Nick,
is yeah. Go ahead,
yeah,
Sean.
yeah, absolutely. And I would say of all the groups of in this in season tournament, if there's the most interesting group, it's this one. It's Group C. It's the Kings, the Warriors, the Thunder, the Spurs. Um, it's going to be an interesting turn here because we saw what Wemby did with the Suns this past week. Nick just swept them. What are your early impressions of Wembayama?
He's on his road or on the fast track, or if you want to call it, here in California, we have carpool lanes. He's in the carpool lane on his way to superstardom. And so, I have said this before, but I was actually one of the early doubters of Wemby. I just felt that he was, to some degree, overhyped, um, weak in the body, lanky, possibly injury prone. And I would think, and I was mistaken that NBA players would be able to body him up, be physical with him, and take him out of the game. Granted, he's still having rookie hiccups and mistakes, and that's expected, and he will probably continue to have those. not only this season but possibly next. But he's been having, you know, I think a very, very good season, better than I expected at least. And he looks like a complete alien and freak out there.
He does, Nick. He does. I mean, of all the unique genetic prototypes that the NBA has had, I've really only seen four, and I mean, I didn't really see uh, Wilt. So it's been Wilt, Shaq, LeBron, and now Wemby. We're gonna see if Wemby reaches those heights. I'm sure he will. It's great to see that he also has like just a touch of humility for a first overall pick, Nick. Good for him. I think the best is yet to come, but as we find ourselves being in San Antonio for a back to back, I want to sweep them. So they got Phoenix. I want to get them in San Antonio. I mean, I hope Wemby plays great, except for the 3 games he plays against us this year.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I agree, Sean. And actually, like one person that, and I'm not sure if you would disagree or agree with this, but in the list of four genetic specimens that you mentioned, would you add? This might be a surprise, but would you add Kevin Durant to that list, given his length, his arms, his ability to shoot over people? I mean, he does come to mind.
uh, if you're talking from a physical perspective, Nick, no, I would just say KD is 3 about 3 or 4 inches taller than the Iceman. He has a similar body and build to George Gervin. And the Iceman was one of the baddest man on the planet with the ball in his hands. I just think Kevin Durant's a 7 foot George Gervin. Um, but again, like you said, there is a uniqueness behind his length and behind his some of his physical traits, but it's not like a genetic gift that separates him from peers. Those 4 guys I mentioned are so different from all their peer groups that you have to take that into account. That's just my opinion, though. But I think I'm sound there because George Gervin again. If he played in this day in in the NBA, you'd say that's Kevin Durant's game. So that's just my opinion, though, Nick.
No, makes sense. Makes complete sense, Sean. And I think you wanted to make a shout out to Mission. So go ahead, Sean.
Yeah,
Very generous submission.
absolutely. Lakers fast break fam. Mission 24, thank you very much. Just gave us a shout out. Just got paid buying a beer for my LFB channel. Thank you very much, man. Salut. Sláinte, as they say in Gaelic, brother. Hopefully you enjoy it. Cold beer is good beer, man.
Now you have to say it in French too, Sean.
No, I'm not saying it in French, Nick.
Oh no. I
Anyway, you know what, Nick? Have w- have you ever tried this? Next time you drink a beer, man, chill your glass for about 20 minutes and then pour it. It's so good. Like there's
okay,
nothing better than a chilled glass with a cold
like a
beer.
frosted glass.
Yeah,
You know
make
that?
sure the top is really frosted.
Okay,
That's the best.
okay, we'll
Uh
do. Noted, noted, Magic Man.
all right, bro. So as we move on, Nick, I had some thoughts on the press conference that the LA Clippers held, and just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, Nick's become a very good friend of mine, and we were having a little exchange on whether or not Steve Ballmer was enjoying the fruits of his labor, so to speak, Nick. And yeah, that interview was very, very, excitable. He was very excited.
He
I
was
will
very
say this.
animated, very animated.
Yes, I will say this. I think, unless he has an allergy to mohair, That was what we think it was. Now
I
and now moving on, because it's not surprising if he did partake in that, particular recreational habit, Nick, that he wouldn't have an issue acquiring a player who, while maybe not necessarily associated with that particular recreational habit, it's kind of cohabitational with his affinity for strip clubs.
it's adjacent, let's put it that way, Sean,
Yeah,
alright? It's
yes,
adjacent.
that's the best way to put it. Anyway, Nick, I thought that press conference was a big pile of self idolatry when
Yeah,
he said, "I'm not part of the system. I am the system."
yeah, he also said that, Sean, I'm sure you picked this up, but he also said that he felt that the Philadelphia 76ers had him on a leash, and, those were his words, "on a leash," and that he, just couldn't be himself, and ultimately, he made it or framed it in a way that conveyed that the 76ers management did not want him there, even though it has since transpired that he also didn't want to be there at the very least.
Yes, Nick. Now, did you happen to listen to a response from Joel Embiid when he was asked his thoughts about that?
I actually did not, Sean. What was Embiid's response?
Embiid, in a nice roundabout way, basically said that James Harden basically held the ball every possession. And while Embiid had a higher usage rate, the fact remains is that Harden did lead the league in assists, Nick. So if you lead the league in assists, that means you have the ball in your hands an incredibly large amount of the time. And to argue otherwise is an exercise in absurdity because I know for a fact that touch passes don't get you the assist title. Finding the right man between 0 to 5 and then between 12 to 20 seconds is what gets you the assist title. So Harden had the ball a lot, Nick.
Hmm. Yeah, no, he absolutely did, Sean. I also listened to the press conference that Lawrence Frank did on behalf of the Clippers yesterday, and I'm not sure if you got a chance to listen in on that, but Lawrence Frank actually, surprisingly, when he was asked by one of the reporters regarding Kawhi Leonard's and Paul George's sitting out or load management, actually Lawrence Frank responded rather aggressively and said that he thought it was quote BS because there's a difference between one, load management, and two, players being injured. And so it seemed like, the insinuation that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are not available because, those players just want to rest. It really, really seemed to have bothered Lawrence Frank. And ultimately, he said that James Harden gives this Clippers team, a real possibility at winning their first championship. And so we'll see what they do. I felt like Clippers just had to make the trade because they weren't going to do anything else with the group that they had. And so ultimately, as I told you, Magic Man offline, I think it was a fourth down situation with a few seconds on the clock, and they just had to launch the Hail Mary.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. Absolutely. Just reeks of desperation. Um, stink, skunk. I happen to think that this is going to eventually bother Russell Westbrook as well, Nick. This situation, because one or two things is going to happen. Either Russ is going to be able to keep sacrificing, and with the ball less in his hands, he's not going to be able to continue this shooting clip. No way in hell. Not going to happen. Not gonna happen.
Yeah,
Haley's comet happens once every 75 years. So does a Russell Westbrook shooting outburst. So just enjoy it while it happens because this is a supernova. And eventually I think he's gonna grow tired of the sacrifice when it's not working out, Nick. And we've already seen James Harden say, I'm not sacrificing. I'm not sacrificing again. So
yeah, and Sean, you're absolutely right with all your thoughts right now. And I'll just add that there have been rumblings that Russell Westbrook and James Harden might actually start together in the backcourt, and obviously those two players, to put it generously, they're not known for their defense, neither Westbrook um, nor Harden. And so I actually imagine if that is the lineup, that lineup actually animating a lot more wear and tear on the likes of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who will now be compelled to cover for James Harden and Russell Westbrook defensively.
that 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 eventually is going to be a snowball that becomes an avalanche because although although they acquired PJ Tucker, Nick, at some point Tucker's body's gonna break down too. And a 6'5" guy at the four does not make for a very good team. They were actually doing pretty well with Rocco and Zubats at the 4 and the 5. Uh, had this Harden thing not even uh, had their name mentioned, Nick, there's no way, there's absolutely no way the Clippers would have been in on Harden. He forced his way there, and now this situation is like a crock pot. But is the crock pot going to boil up into something that tastes good, or is it going to be like the Hurt Locker? Where the
Yeah,
wrong wire gets cut. I think the wrong wire is gonna get cut, man. We've seen this story time and time again.
yeah, no, no, I agree with you, Sean. And shout outs to PMC, Petty My Cat, one of the OGs in the chat and early supporters of the channel. Just wanted to make sure that he got his shout out.
PMC is one of the Mercury like 7. Definitely. One of the Mercury 7. Intel, Darren, PMC, yeah, definitely part of the Mercury 7 of Lakers Fast Break. So we
Blue
gotta keep
Magic as well.
as we're hoping to see Gerald Glassford here. Gerald? 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 Uh, Nick, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm here, Sean. I think you put me offline, but now I'm back in.
I did not put you offline, sir. I did
Okay.
not.
I
I
swear it
did
was
not.
me. It
Yes,
was.
it was Gerald.
I don't even know what I did. I didn't do anything, but okay, go ahead.
Okay.
What's going on, everyone?
Welcome
Glad to have you here.
into
Hey,
welcome
Gerald.
in. Yeah, welcome in, Gerald. How are you doing this evening?
Doing okay. Want to go ahead and make sure everybody knows I got an update on the merchandise direct from the horse's mouth or horse's ass mouth or horse's ass, aka Joe Soro. I did speak to him earlier, and he said that the orders look like they're going to be shipped out on Monday. He apologized for any delay, but to those who've ordered, we're going to get. He said that the individual involved, the company involved that's manufacturing all this, just as far as didn't know the kind of demand that was going to be needed for this. So they finally got all the resources together to go ahead as far as the clothing is concerned, and yeah, they're going to get everything taken care of and shipped out on Monday. Looks like so. Everything looks like it's going to be taken care of. So yes, and then
Gerald.
then he told me a couple expletives, and Joe after that. But yeah, I digress.
Mhm. Gerald, me and Nick were just shooting the breeze on the inaugural insipid uh, diluted NBA in season tournament. Early returns are meh. And what are your thoughts on what you've seen from the
Well,
basically the marketing ploy that is the in season tournament?
Yeah, still a lot of people aren't aware of it. ESPN has done some increased marketing from it. Of course, the courts themselves are all changed to specifically the in-season tournament logos and all that. Kind of curious, you don't have the Lakers on the first night of this tournament, which is kind of dumb, in my opinion. I mean, if you want to kick off something like this for the NBA in full, have every team, 15 games, all tournament games, all supported in
And
there. Yeah,
and
that's
by the way, Gerald, you also picked the wrong primetime game because OKC and Golden State are swinging haymakers at one another right now.
absolutely 136 to 135. So that's, again, it just seems to me that you could have done better. Like you're talking about, they could have chosen better games. I think that the ESPN or the higher ups, probably because of the fact that it's where it's located, don't have any faith in Oklahoma City on drawing any ratings. So I think that's probably comes into it. But I don't know if Nick will agree or disagree with me on that.
um, yeah, no, Gerald, I do agree with you. In fact, I even think at a more basic level, they should have actually chosen a different name than in season tournament, because the word in season itself kind of diminishes the value or any interest in the actual tournament. I mean, they could have named it something a little more interesting, like NBA Super Cup or something like that.
I agree. Just so far, not good returns on it. But I know that it was suggested by, oh, why don't you, for the winner, why don't you guarantee a playoff spot? If that's the case, that's really a bad. That just means that the regular season means very little to you. And if you have a team, let's say like Houston, okay, do you want Houston Rockets team, which might win 30 games all season at most? Do you really, if they win the tournament, want them going ahead and being in the playoff mix?
No, you don't want a 30-win team in the playoffs or a 36-win team or a 28-win team. Definitely not, Gerald. You want the best level of competition possible. And good on Nick for that keen observation because as a lot of people have pointed out poignantly, Gerald, that the same argument is made for college football with championship games now. Well, your
Yeah.
conference has a championship game. Well, in the end, does it really mean anything because we have this 14 playoff? Again, it kind of I use the word of the day, but dilutes the significance and the importance of winning every possible game in an 82 game season.
Yeah.
It shouldn't hold less or more significance just because um, there's some material cup attached to it. As we get another great super chat from Mission 24. Thank you
Uh,
again, sir.
Truly appreciate it, Mission 24. Just bless you. Bless you. Very kind of you to do that. And it helps out the Lakers fast break truly quite a bit. Just the actual, like, we're trying to increase what we're doing here. Magic Man sounds great. This is a lot of what your contributions you're seeing with Magic Man right now in his new headset. These are some of the things that we're allowed to do and increase production value to bring you a better product. And it's because of your kindness, like Mission 24, Intel Wild, Darren, everyone else that either watches the ads or contributes in some other way to us. It helps out, and you're starting to see it here on the air, and I truly appreciate it.
And Sean, you have to read Mission's comment because I think Gerald is too humble to read it himself.
Yeah. Mission 24. Thank you so much. Gerald came in like God descending to earth. Well, he's not the Godfather, but he is the Podfather.
There you
He's
go.
not the he's not the Godfather yet. That's a little down the road, but he is the
Gerald came in
Podfather.
like Pod. How about Gerald came in like Pod? There you go. But
Gerald, just some early returns on this NBA season, just excluding the just the in-season tournament at this point. What are the three standouts right now? I mean, surprising, a little unsurprising. What would you say is at the top of your list, sir?
Kind of unsurprising, but it's something that obviously we have to deal with is the fact that when it comes to the Celtics, they look pretty damn good. I mean, they won the other night by 50. I know we're all Lakers fans and we absolutely hate to say that. It just leaves a bitter taste in the mouth. But if we're taking a step out for a moment as NBA analysts, all of us, and looking at the bigger picture and the landscape, you couldn't ask for a better start for the Celtics. And while obviously it's still very early in the season, the early returns have them much ahead of the game more than the team I predicted to go ahead and come out of the East in Milwaukee. So right now it looks like the Celtics have one up on everyone. So that isn't too much of a surprise because obviously we thought that was going to be the case. Philadelphia without Harden looks better than Philadelphia with Harden. I think that's a little bit of a surprise. Atlanta's great start. I think you also have to conclude as a surprise. And of course, we've talked about this before, Magic Man. Memphis and the Memphis Grizzlies, the disaster in Memphis, the dumpster fire in Memphis so far. Maybe they'll get back on the road here, with what they're doing tonight. So hopefully they'll get back on the road at some point in time. But yeah, right now from what we've seen so far this season, it's been a pretty much of a dumpster fire. And yeah, cannot say enough. Disappointing things if you're a Memphis fan in regards to their start.
And
No,
Gerald and Sean, apologies. I was actually going to ask both of you this question. Has Dallas surprised either of you?
The 4-0, well, it depends on who they played. They've really only had one tough game leading
that's
into
it.
what we're saying.
That's
Yeah,
it. They've beaten Brooklyn. They've beaten Chicago. Not game
yeah.
breakers by any
Chicago
stretch.
looks like it's already about ready to implode. Brooklyn is a team
Eh,
that's
eh.
that does not look like it. It looks like it has a whole bunch of complementary players on their team. They do not have a star to drive that team forward.
Absolutely. They also got the San Antonio Spurs
Yeah,
in the first game. That was Wemby's first audition, basically getting his feet wet with live bullets. So still early. Their offense, we know they can score. So their offense has been impressive. Early returns on Lively are pretty good, Gerald. He's
yeah.
he's found a way to
Is
carve a
it any
niche
wonder
with
why we
playing.
wanted him in the draft if he was going to
Well,
fall down to us?
indeed. As we digress, we'll see how fast that wall hits them because usually rookies eventually hit it.
Well, they
Uh,
might hit it tonight because they're getting killed at Denver at this point in time.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of
It's
walking
early,
into a
but
brick
yeah, they are
wall.
getting killed. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Gerald as well. But the Memphis situation, um, as Nick said, Gerald, he picked them, remember, number one
Yeah.
in his preseason musings. That being said, Nick wasn't the only one. A lot of people had the Wizards still within striking distance of a top three seed, and quite frankly, as we spoke earlier, Gerald, with Nick, it's it's not Desmond Bain that's been an issue. It's not Triple J that's been an issue. Marcus Smart hasn't even really been an issue. It's that they don't have a closer, a
Yeah.
true finisher, killer that can win them basketball games at the end of.
I just wanted to say to PMC right now, he was asking about Lonzo Ball and the Chicago Bulls and that dumpster fire that's going on because they lost again tonight. Lonzo is out for the entire year. He has already been medically discharged for the entire year. As far as Chicago has already received a waiver for him, he has already been signed off. In fact, I think they already received something as far as a salary accordance in as far as that's concerned yet.
Yes, Gerald, I believe they did receive that $5 million injury exception.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, he has been definitely signed off for the entire year. He still says he's going to come back, but I don't know. This looks like it's really going to be something that's going to be very tough. So I think Chicago, they even look like they're looking up at basketball purgatory at this point in time. It could get really ugly really fast. I know a lot of people are starting to circle like buzzards around their roster. Some people are targeting Vucevic. Obviously, we're targeting Caruso. If the woes at shooting guard, as far as from an offensive standpoint, if they continue for the Lakers, with Zach Levine, I know would be someone that a lot of people would like to see, even though he is allergic to defense and allergic to passing the ball. So you have to deal with it. If you know what you're in for if you get Zach Levine. I'm just going to say that right now. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, Gerald, I agree with everything you said. As far as Lonzo Ball, I understand that he still actually has one more year left on his
Yes.
contract.
Oh yeah,
I think
absolutely.
about 22 million. Sean, would you say the Lonzo contract is now the worst contract in the league?
Oh, ooh, that's a great question,
I would
Nick.
still say Brian Grant. I would still say Brian Grant.
Oh,
Because
Jeremy Grant.
yeah,
Yeah,
Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy
Sorry
Grant.
about that.
I would say Gerald's correct. Just like,
There's more years and
just
there's more
yeah.
money.
There's more years, more money, but yeah, it's a bad one. It's a bad one. I would say, third with, oh, I don't want to say Joe, but third with a bullet is Jordan Poole of the Washington Wizards. I'm sorry for using their old franchise name there, Gerald, but I mean that
I thought Jordan
contract.
was going to be able to score more.
Yeah,
He's under just under 20, but it looked from the preseason like he was going to be able to break out and hit in the mid 20s now that he was out underneath the ire of Draymond and actually able to go ahead and get the green light in Washington. So he has not had the best of starts, but I still won't give up on him just yet. I still think he can, go on a run where you could see him score like crazy. Because again, they don't have many options in Washington, so I don't want to say 100% that would be the worst contract out there. But I think Jeremy Grant is probably the worst one that's out there right now. Uh, Between them, the only reason why is because there's only one more year after this one on for what we're seeing with Lonzo, Nick. And I think if that's the case, next year his contract will be attractive to others that want the money off the books.
No, yes, yes, Gerald. And actually, just reacting to PMC's comment, do both of you believe that Lonzo is done?
I think he's done. I think it's done. I think it's just going to be medically decided upon that it's not going to be happening. So
yeah. It's
I put
it,
it some on there. Don't worry. Keep going, my friend. Keep going.
yeah. It sounds. I can have to concur with the Podfather. I actually see a situation where it looks very um unlikely that he comes back, and he may have to be kind of inveigled into medical retirement,
Yeah.
um, for the sake of himself. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these guys don't want to deal with arthritis and hip replacements and knee replacements in your 50s and your 60s. Um, that's hard. That is hard on the
Y-
body, Gerald. That kind of
Yeah.
rehabilitation at that age. And
eh, Yeah,
go ahead, Nick.
no, Sean, everything that you're saying is just turning the wheels in my mind. So Lonzo, just to put it in perspective, his last game in the NBA was on January 14th, 2022.
Mm.
And so let's even say that he is medically green lighted to come back. Presumably, he wouldn't have his first official NBA game until October 2024. So, Magic Man, you being the resident expert and encyclopedia, has there been any NBA player that has taken 2+ years off and successfully come back? Essentially 2 years and 9 months.
Mm. I don't think anyone's taken that long, Nick. No. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been Dominique. Um rolling through my head. Other than I'd say it might have not have been done with injuries, Nick, but I think that might have happened to the Birdman, Chris Anderson. He might have been out of the league for a couple years, if I'm not mistaken. But no, this would be Nick. This would be unprecedented. If something like that were to happen, it's very difficult to imagine at this point, given all the circumstances and factors involved. And if we're going to talk about the Ball brothers, Gerald, Lamelo is a concern right now.
It's doing okay. Not to the all-star level that I think a lot of people are looking for.
He's not efficient enough for them to to afford this kind of year, Gerald. I
Yeah, but
mean,
they don't even have the person. They've lost two key players, and that doesn't even count for Kai Jones. Obviously, the story with Miles Bridges.
mhm.
It's not a pretty sight right now in Charlotte. So Ball, he tries to do so much for that team, and Lamelo, it's not looking great, but it's not looking super bad right now. So. A big shout out to Joshua and Facebook. Truly appreciate it. Always glad to have you here, my friend. Thanks so much again. Blue Magic says Lamelo is a concern. He agrees. He's not just getting to that next level. I think that everybody's looking at. But before we get back to the, go ahead, Magic.
Oh no, I was just going to agree with you, Gerald. I think
Yeah,
that's true, but I mean he like there was this idea around him being kind of the next gen all NBA triple double Mr. Efficiency. Uh as poorly as Austin Rivers is shooting from 3, Gerald, at 25%, LaMelo Ball is shooting 25% on his twos so far.
yeah.
So
So
he
he's
really
taking a
needs.
lot of shots right now for the team as needed.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Before we get back to some final thoughts, though, Magic and Nick, on the NBA play-in tournament or in-season tournament, I'm sorry, in-season tournament, the NBA Cup, as it were. Again, it's really hard. It's not rolling off the tongue, so that in itself is a problem. I think that the NBA has to start coming to grips with. I'm not sure it's going over 100% well. It seems to be mixed reviews. Some people really like it, some people don't. I wanted to go ahead and give everyone an update on our fantasy basketball league. And who do you think is at the top there, Sean, of the fantasy basketball league for the Lakers fast break? Ah, Nick's neat team. I wonder which Nick that is. I think that's yours, Nick. That's right. You're the neat team. You're the ball and superstars. Is that correct, Nick?
You know what, Gerald? I know for sure that like I made the Balling Superstars team. I don't remember the neat team.
Okay,
So
so the ball and superstar teams is yours. Okay, so
yeah, so
all right. So
I don't know if the neat team was made a year ago or
I
when
think
I
that
made.
might be a year ago. Yeah, that might have been
Yeah.
a year ago. So that's right now, Nick. Okay, so if that's the case, Nick, you're in fourth place. Great start to the season. You're looking up at Sean's slam dunk team right there. So I think that's your team, Sean. So you're in third place right there. Uh, Actually, PMC, who's in the chat tonight, PMC is in sixth, and look at me in seventh. Although I'm gaining 4.5 in the past day, 4.5 points. So you never know. You never know. But right now, shout out to Nick's neat team, LBJ's Connect, Sean Slam Dunk team, Nick's Ball and Superstars, and everybody else that's part of the Lakers Fast Break League. Sean's like meticulously looking it over. He absolutely he's adjusting his lineups as we speak. So congratulations so far, early going. It looks like it's going to be a nice long season for the Lakers Fast Break Fantasy Basketball League. But
I still have a feeling I'm gonna regret that auto pick of Daniel Gafford at some point, but we'll
oh, I'm
see,
sure you
Gerald.
regret it already. So
All due respect to Daniel. All due respect.
And Sean, and to everybody watching, I'm always in the market to entertain a good trade. So I'll just say that.
good luck. Do you know how hard it is to find? I just in football, fantasy football, to give you an idea, I just had the first accepted trade Oh no, it's in fantasy basketball. I'm sorry. The first trade I've done in 3 years in any sport because I get offers all the time. The problem is you give them a counter offer because their offer sucks. The counter offer they don't like. It goes back and forth, and then everybody just quits. So I'm glad I finally got something that I could chew on that was sent to me. So I took care of that on one of my ESPN links. But yes, I will see what I can do, and if I need something, oh, you never know, I might drop that on you. So absolutely, my
Just no Russell Westbrook, please, Gerald.
no, no, I don't have Russell Westbrook on my team, but thank goodness for that.
And
But
Gerald, before we head on out, there's something we need to let Lakers fans know about. I mean, we respect history on this podcast, and just to let everybody know, today is a very special anniversary. It is the 27th anniversary of Kobe Bryant's very first game as a
okay,
Los Angeles Laker.
wow, there you go.
Very,
That's
very, very, very cool.
yeah, it
Um,
is.
yeah. Do you remember his stat line in his first game, Gerald?
Had don't even remember 8
Yeah.
points.
It's not even important. Um, 27 years in the making. Um, the Mamba. Just thankful that we got to see him play, Gerald, and
Absolutely.
the memory remains.
We
I
saw
do
him.
also.
We saw him grow up, Sean. I just wanted to say we saw Kobe grow up as a teenager, and he's dearly missed. Rest in peace.
Absolutely, just definitely great to I feel very very thankful that I got a chance to see his career in full, and I feel very blessed by it, and it's something I
So
will hopefully be
in
able to
that
tell my grandkids and kids after that.
absolutely in that very first game, Shaq shined out 35 and 19, and Kobe played 6 minutes. Gerald 0 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists, 1 block, 0 steals, 1 turnover, 1 foul, and just 1 field goal attempt. Do
Well,
you remember? Do you remember their opponent that night, Gerald?
my God, no.
So
I'm not the
Kobe,
encyclopedia that you and Joe. I watched them. I watched it. I'm sure I watched it. I know Chick talking about this kid, when he was talking about this kid, leading into the preseason games, leading into the first game. But yeah, don't remember the
Were you already in Vegas, Gerald, at that
no,
point?
no,
No,
no. I
no.
was you know what? Actually, yes, I was. Actually was because he came in 96, right?
that's
96.
correct. That's
Yeah, so
correct,
I
Gerald.
was already here in Vegas. Yeah, because I had come up the year before.
They
So
played
yes,
the they played the um, great, great, not so great Minnesota Timberwolves, Gerald, who
there you
featured
go.
a vaunted front court of Kevin Durant and Tom. I can't
Kevin
rebound.
Garnett, you mean?
I can't Kevin Garnett, and I can't rebound well. Tom Gugliotta.
Tom Gugliotta. Yep, name out of the past. I do want to mention before we go, Magic Man, that have you given everybody an update on the injury status for tomorrow's game against the Magic?
I have not. I was going to conclude with that actually, Gerald. So,
Go for it.
just to update everybody, Rui Hashimura ruled out for the game against the Orlando Magic. Torian Prince is now listed as questionable or day to day, depending on what medical report you happen to read this evening. I would say it's more day to day. Hopefully, another day with just good stretching and feeling better. Torian Prince should be able to go. Gerald, on the next topic, Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent both remain out. Jared Vanderbilt will be reevaluated at some point next week, and Gabe Vincent will be reevaluated in a week as well.
Well, it's just a shame that the Lakers are already starting off the season with this that vaunted, uh, lineup that we are going to throw, the rotation, how deep it was, yada yada yada. Well, thank God it's so deep because we're losing a lot of players there, guys. Gabe Vincent, Nick, he's out 2 weeks. You Vanderbilt is still out another week. it's getting kind of hard, and we don't even know when Rui's coming back because of his concussion protocol.
So I guess this means more minutes for folks like Cam Reddish. Hopefully he starts, proving
Don't tell
the
that to
naysayers
Riddell.
wrong. Right, or our dear friend Stone Hansen.
Yeah,
Um, and so maybe Max Christie's going to start getting some additional minutes as well. But as the Lakers demonstrated against the Clippers, Gerald, these are opportunities for players that are at the tail end of the rotation or at the tail end of the bench to step up, to prove themselves. And as unfortunate as it may seem, but there are players that lose their places in starting lineups or in rotational minutes due to injury. And so, for some of these players, these are the opportunities that come by, and it's up to them to take advantage of them.
agreed. Couldn't agree with you more on that, Laker Nick. Just very sound analysis right there from Laker Nick. Always great and always blessed to have you here on the show and also on playback. Don't forget tomorrow, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Magic Man's going to be there. Hopefully, Laker Nick's going to be there. Joe Soro, he said he's going to be back in town tomorrow. I don't know if that was served as a warning or a threat to us here at the Lakers Fast Break, but you never know. But he said he'll be back hopefully tomorrow to go ahead and be on by the post game. I also talked to Alfred Esmond from the Orlando Magic Daily. He was on earlier this week and did extremely well. I was really, really happy to go ahead and talk to him. We had a great interview with him. He even went on late for a post game. He said he'll be back for the post game tomorrow. He actually said, I would love to come on for the pregame. I said, well, Laker Tom's going to be on, so I don't think you'll get a few words in there edgewise. So probably the postgame. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, the postgame's fine. Postgame is fine. But that means tomorrow, Lakerholic Spotlight will be on the Orlando Magic pregame. That's coming up for you at noon. So a full day of Lakers Fast Break tomorrow. Looking forward to it, guys. Magic Man, any last thoughts, my friend? I'll let you close it out, man. It's your show. You running it, my friend. Oh, big shout out to
Absolutely.
you, Cool Bro. Got to say hello to Cool Bro as well.
What's up, cool bro?
Although kids and Cool Bro, since he's 14, on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, get your parents' permission. Joe Soro, rated R.
Yeah. So cool, bro. I'm gonna need some more information from you, brother. So when we're talking about jerseys, what are you looking for? Is it authentic, swingman, hardcore classic? Like, what are we looking for? And as far as the Lakers jerseys go, look, man, you can never go wrong with the old school. But I've got Kobe Bean Bryant here. I would recommend either a Kobe or LeBron jersey. As If you're a Lakers fan right now under 25, I would say grab one of those two.
I'm gonna say right now, I might have to tell you everybody right now that probably the one that they might want to lean into is if you get a chance, type in a search purple camo jersey for the Lakers. I've seen them all over, scattered all over. And if you've seen it like I have, there's some absolutely beautiful purple camouflage Lakers jerseys out there. It is, I cannot tell you enough how sweet these designs look. If you get a chance, just put it out. Purple camo Lakers jerseys. Go ahead and check it out. It's really something to look at. I think you'll like it. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to that as well. I saw it the other day and I was like, wow. I'm thinking about dropping some cash on that one. There's a Rui Hashimura jersey like in purple camo, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, there you go. There, you saw them. It looks like you got a chance to see them, Sean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah,
absolutely, Joe.
I saw them too, Gerald. Those definitely look great, and yeah,
Yes.
no, the one that Magic Man is wearing right now, I mean, that's just that's just a beautiful classic jersey. I wish the Lakers never moved on from that style.
Uh,
Alan, I just want to address Alan in the chat. Alan, they have not they have not addressed specifically whether or not it's tendonitis or not. It was just described as knee discomfort by Torian Prince.
Yeah, yeah. So he is, as you said, questionable for tomorrow. We'll see on that one. But yeah, it looks like if you can, looks like it's still going to be a good game. Hopefully, join us on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Of course, tomorrow right here at noon Pacific time, and of course the post game, best post game in town here at the Lakers Fast Break. Magic, I'm telling you, I'm looking at those purple camos, man. Look good. They look good.
They do, and as a matter of fact, since Gerald reminded me, I think I'm gonna cop one uh, before the weekend's over. So, uh, good on Gerald for just reminding us how nice those jerseys really are.
Did you get a chance to see Laker Nick and Sean about the new city jerseys that were available? I'm not in love with them. I know my daughter, one of my oldest daughters, showed them to me. It's like And chat, can you tell us out there in chat what you thought of them? Have you got a chance to check them
I,
out?
I I thought they were meh as well, Gerald. It was kind of uninspiring.
What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, no, exactly, exactly right, Gerald. I also felt the same. I felt that there were too many colors. I didn't like the positioning of the lettering and that pyramid style, so to speak. I much preferred the Lakers City edition jersey from I think last season that had a UCLA kind of inspired color scheme. They were simple and clean. That's more
Yeah,
my style. Yeah.
I'm not a UCLA fan because I love USC and all that, but I will say those looked substantially better than the ones I'm showing everybody now. So,
I
uh,
also like those, Gerald and Sean. You might recall, I think it was during Lonzo Ball's rookie season
yeah,
where the Lakers played with the old school Minneapolis jerseys. If you remember those, I thought those were very good as well.
yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree wholeheartedly.
Gerald, I did not get your verdict on LeBron James's Beetlejuice outfit for Halloween.
Ah, that's right. Him and his wife dressed up as characters from Beetlejuice. You know what? Right now, I'm going to say that's great because the fact is that uh, well, I guess is he part of SAG? I would have thought he would be a part of SAG, so he shouldn't have been
Yeah.
wearing Beetlejuice as far as that's concerned. But since you're not supposed to wear costumes from movies or television or whatnot due to the SAG after
Oh,
strike, but
maybe Fran Drescher said everybody could void that for Halloween, Gerald.
no, she was the one that instituted it. So we'll see.
Oh, Fran. Oh,
All I
Fran.
say is this. You know what? It was bold. I liked it. I think it was something that just shows the spirit and fun. You know what? And it ended up he Beetlejuiced the Clippers the next day. So there you go.
Yeah, he really did. Gerald's
But
John Wayne Gacy costume is way better. That's the comment of the night from Lifted. Gerald,
what
you
is
just
this
keep.
with John Wayne Gacy? It's Can't you just at least say like it's a fictional character? Kind of gives me the willies that you guys just associated with John Wayne Gacy. Kind of, yeah. Ugh. The heebie-jeebies, I think, probably the best way to say it when I say it like that. Can't you say like, is it the clown? The clown from It or something like a fictional character.
Pennywise. Yeah.
Pennywise. Yeah, Pennywise.
He's creepy too, Gerald.
Yeah, but he's fictional. It's not the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like he's fake. Tim Curry, great actor. Skarsgård, great actor. Not too bad. That I could be okay with. The actual real life John Wayne Gacy thing, yeah, that's not. That's like, insert your serial killer here type thing. I don't think I really want that. Yeah.
The Aleph crowd is loyal and twisted, but we love them, Gerald.
Yes, yes, they are twisted, but we do love them. Big shout out to Rodell who sent us more love letters today in regards to Matt. I don't hate Max Christie, by the way. Well, I guess we could talk about him before we leave, Sean and Nick. I don't hate Max Christie. I was rooting for this kid during the summer, Magic Man, really talking about where he's in a great place, maturity wise and growth wise. And he said in his one of his letters, emails, he's Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. He flashed forwarded back. He said, "You need to go ahead and look back at game one of the preseason." Well, Rodell, you need to look at the games after game one of the preseason and the two games he's in now. Uh, 14% shooting overall and 20% from behind the arc. That's not going to get it done. And his defensive rating, it's not terrible. It's just slightly below team average right now. But come on. Come on, Rodell. I don't hate Max Christie. This is his
The
time
the
to
pro- the
to
the
excel. This is his time to he needs to play his best ball now, Sean, while everybody's out. And if he doesn't, he's just going to get buried deeper on the bench and he's going to end up being a free agent, Nick and Sean, and he's not going to get anything out there on the open market. Even though he's a young guy, he's not going to get what the THT contract per se that if you want to put it something similar.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not getting the Chandler Parsons or the THT treatment, Gerald.
Yeah.
No matter if he goes on a scorcher here. I
Yeah,
mean,
Cam's been
J-
playing better defense. Statistically, he's playing better than the team average right now. And you see him playing against some of the top guys on the other team. You've seen him playing against Durant. You've seen him playing against PG, Kawhi. You've seen him lined up against centers. You've seen him lined up against point guards.
he's a very good lane defender when he's got a lot of length around him, Gerald.
Yeah,
Cam Reddish, Jared
yeah.
Vanderbilt, 100%. And what? By the way, we're actually pointing that out, and
And these are
it's
things I didn't know when I was criticizing the team for signing Cam Reddish. And,
Yeah.
again,
go
go
ahead,
ahead, Nick.
Nick.
No, I was just going to mention, Gerald, actually, Rodell just responded to you via email.
Oh, I can't
And
wait.
so,
Should I do it on the air?
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, here we
And by
go.
the way, I think I speak for the LFB when I say this, Gerald. We really do appreciate Rodell for listening and being a careful
Yes.
listener.
Yes. I've
It,
always said that. Yes.
and honest and vigorous, and I think just genuine debate is always welcome.
It is. It is. It is. And that goes without saying. You're right. Absolutely is. So I'm going to give you Rodell's latest comment that you just said it in. Good eye there, Nick. He says, I'm not trying to compare Christie to Reddish. I think you actually, he says it's not a fair comparison. I think you actually have to because they are after the same spot in the rotation, roughly, right? I mean,
Yes. It's neck and neck here for
once everybody gets healthy,
it's
they're
neck and neck
fighting.
here for the runt of the litter dives, and somebody's
Yeah.
going to be the runt of the litter, Gerald. Yes,
So you,
you were correct in pointing that out.
so you tell me, Nick, I mean, when everybody gets back to healthy, I mean, right now you can't really say because they need both guys, right now. They just need bodies to throw out there. But when everybody gets healthy, they are essentially vying for the same, what, ninth, 10th, 11th spot in the rotation, correct?
No, that's absolutely right, Gerald. And NBA games aren't 2 3 hours long. There's limited minutes. There's only so many players that could play at one time, 5 players on the floor. And the amount of meaningful minutes that could go around are extremely scarce. So those are precious, and players are aware that they're up for competition each and every night, and those are up for grabs.
Well, again, I want to continue on with what he was saying. Reddish has been in the league a longer time, and he clearly has been given a longer leash. And I give him credit there because he understands that these guys, the veterans, the NBA coaches trust the veterans more than the younger players. Max has played about 22 minutes in the regular season. You stated he hasn't shown anything since summer league. Well, take a look at the first preseason game. Well, okay, he did something in the first preseason game against Golden State. What has he done since? He hasn't done anything since. That's productive. That's helpful to the team. Shooting 14% overall in this season so far. Mind you, it's a small sample size in the two games. It's not good right now. And this is a kid who really has to perform. It's a competition, Magic and Nick Reddish and Christie, they're both vying for a contract next summer. They both have the same incentive. They don't have job or contract security, so they both have to be playing at their best ball. And Reddish has been terrible on offense too. He's not been a whole lot better, but at least he's giving you substantial defense playing better than the team average defensive rating wise while still playing against the top players on the other team. Your thoughts, guys? John, you're on mute. I got you. Okay, go ahead.
Just gonna say, I've always felt that, and if you gentlemen, I think would agree that competition breeds the best out of people
Yeah.
when you're able to, when the pressure's on and you're in that pressure cooker. Again, we talked we talked about it, Gerald. Pressure creates diamonds or it could burst pipes. And Christie isn't producing diamonds yet offensively, but the pipes aren't bursting either defensively. That being said, I would say Cam's in the pole position right now, Gerald. His offense is getting a little better game by game. That shot mechanic that we see is just god awful.
Yes.
I thought Sean Marion's was the wonkiest I would ever see in my life. But Cam Reddish,
I thought
come on
Lonzo first
down.
rookie year Lonzo was pretty amazingly tough to watch, but
That
then
was
again,
creaky. That was
this is just
beyond
goes, yeah.
wonky. That was creaky. Um,
Mission, you're probably right on that one. Mission 24, you're right on that one. But Nick, I mean, when it comes to Cam Reddish, it's the fact he's playing defense at a very acceptable level against the top players. It's not, you know, um, I guess in his if you continue the email, Rodell's talking about the activity level for Max Christie, and that's great and all, but Max Christie isn't playing as well defensively against PG and Kawhi the way Cam Reddish was, or against other players that he's played so far. He's played against Durant, he's played against what some of the other players in the best players in the league.
he's played on
In the
Malik
preseason, he
Monk.
played against Damian Lillard.
He's played
Yeah,
on Malik Monk
yeah.
Sunday against Sacramento. He's taken on the challenge of, again, tomorrow night. He will probably be checking Franz Wagner or Bankero,
Yeah.
Gerald. So
And Allen's right. He needs to get stronger. He's still very slight of frame, so he gets easily positioned out. When it comes to drive. But activity level aside, I'm not going to sit here and tell you differently. He's been active, but Nick hasn't been. Let me give your assessment of Max Christie's to this point in the limited time he's been out there on the court.
Yeah, Gerald, I was actually about to say what Alan said. I mean, fundamentally, not only has Cam Reddish been better defensively than Max Christie, but one, Cam Reddish just has a better physical frame at this point in his career. I mean, it's only natural. Cam Reddish is an older player. Granted, he's still young, but he's been in the league longer than Max Christie.
Yeah.
But second of all, if Cam Reddish is getting more minutes or more playing time than Max Christie on the floor, that's for the simple fact that one, as we mentioned, Cam Reddish is producing defensively, but number two, to put it plain and simple, this isn't preseason anymore. This is the regular season. Games count. How many times have we seen it in the past, Sean and Gerald, where a team loses one game, two games, and those are games that end up actually being of major consequence once playoff seeding, or in this case, even play-in seeding is concerned. So each and every game counts. I know we say that the NBA season is long; it's 82 games, and that's true. But ultimately, each game has a consequence, and teams like the Lakers, where winning and winning championships is the only measuring stick, you have to start and play the players that give you the best shot at winning.
Absolutely. And he's still going to get chances there, Rodell. I know you're a big super Max Christie supporter, and it's not to say that we aren't either, because we want Max Christie to succeed. We want him to play well when he's in there. He has not played well yet, and he's not played well enough yet to substantiate more minutes when those players come back. He's still going to get minutes because of the fact that they're injured, and we've got so many players out of the lineup, Sean. But he is not earned himself more minutes when everybody comes back, which is sad because I really want to see the kid blow up. I really want to see the kid. How many times over the course of the past year have I said, man, I do not like the contract that Rob signed him to, because if he blows up, it's going to eat in the face again, like the THT contract that they had to sign him to 2 years ago.
Absolutely, Gerald. And you know what? We should go ahead and post our 2022 draft show where we talked about that Christie
Yeah.
draft pick, and Gerald was his assistant from the hop, from the very first point. Why did he only sign him to a 2-year deal? This makes no
They're saying
sense.
that the Lonnie Walker, contract, I think it's a bunch of hogwash as far as it's concerned. You can find ways around it to go ahead and sign him to one of those longer term deals. And it's, if he blows up, it's going to bite the Lakers in the ass. It's going to be that simple. So we want to hit Max Christie to blow up. We want him to play better. The problem is right now, he is not. He is not earning himself more minutes when everybody gets back healthy. Will he play more minutes tomorrow or on this road trip? Absolutely. He's going to play amount. He's going to get some time. He's going to get opportunities, but he has to play well so that he earns his opportunity when those guys get back in the lineup. And he also pointed out in the email, Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com, about Gabe Vincent not hitting a 3-pointer, or he's only hit one 3-pointer, I
He
think.
he
Is
had
that correct?
one. He had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's not good. No one is saying that's good, but again, he's a veteran that has been tested through the ringer, through the playoffs, finals. He's had his ups and downs. I told you he's a streaky shooter, so he may come back and go on fire because that's just who he is. He's a 34% shooter at best, so the people are going to have to get used to that. But he provides you something steady. And Magic Man was the one that pointed out the fact that his assist to turnover ratio is the best on the team. And sometimes you need your backups to do other things than just hit 3-pointers, and that's what they're doing. And his level of defense has been okay, not great. I'll go ahead and assess for that. But the fact that he's out there providing something steady that Max Christie can't provide, in some playmaking, is the reason why he was out there. Although he'll be out for 2 weeks, so there you go. He again, more minutes for Christie because of it.
Yeah, Gerald, it's that's kind of funny those two names were brought up. It's almost as if, when things get a little hot, oftentimes they get amplified as well. And
Yeah,
the shooting has been so atrocious that it makes it harder for, say, Max Christie to crack a role in the rotation when his shooting is
yeah,
bad. It's normally it's normally what we're looking for is the polar opposite. Is that
yeah.
if early on they're struggling, if he's gunning away at a good clip, then that means that everything we talked about in the summer is coming to fruition. But as Gerald said, we want him to pop, but he hasn't popped yet, and it's a matter now of an arms race between him and Cam Reddish. And right now, Cam has the lead. He's in the pole position.
And he's going to get an opportunity. I don't know if he's a restricted, but even if or the Lakers have the ability to match, but he's going to get another opportunity in the league. Max Christie,
Mhm.
he's only 20. So whether it's with the Lakers or someone else, he's going to get another opportunity to grow and mature as a player. That's the thing, is he going to be able to grow and mature more with the Lakers? We'll have to find out. But then again, it's all up to him. It's all up
Yep,
to him.
100%, Gerald. Frank
Oh,
Frank Ni-
well, I was
Frank
going to
Nil.
say, Devotion is asking about your cooking show. So I
Mm,
know you try to avoid that in the chat, the Best Lakers chat room of the Lakers Fast Break.
I
I mean,
wasn't avoiding it.
okay.
Well, it's let's just say it's on the back burner right now.
Oh,
All right.
pardon the pun there.
Magic Man's always been poetic with his phrases, Gerald.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Alan says he would
it's
still keep Max, though. And I know one's saying we want Max gone, but he's just playing terrible right now. So
yeah,
he's shooting
it's
14% overall is not good, but
that's
it's
not
only limited
good.
minutes. So, but 1 of 7, last, in the Clippers game, this was a real opportunity for you to show out, and 1 of 7 is just not what you want to do. It really isn't.
Gerald,
Uh,
if there's ever a time for him to pick it up offensively, this would be the road trip to do it.
and his
He can.
defense, and on the defensive end, he just is not strong enough to continually face off and play well against, guys like Kawhi or PG, or in this case coming up, maybe he can, because he might be a better matchup against the Orlando guards on Saturday. So maybe it's a good
Mhm.
opportunity for him coming up.
Yeah, I think it could be drilled. I mean, let's face it. Teams with wings, like the Clippers, and guards like the Jazz, where they're like linebackers,
Mhm.
are going to be a problem for Max Christie. 100%. The more physical, chiseled athlete is not going to be someone that Max could go toe to toe with. He's lanky. I would say he's a little wiry strong, Gerald. He's still able to slip through those screens rather than actually going under. If he can't go over, I find him actually trying to slip actually through them. Um, so that's a plus. That being said, he needs to pick it up offensively. Gerald, if I was him, and I'm not, but if I was him, I would really, really, really get in Phil Handy's ear and ask him, let's work on dribble drive drills because, like we were saying, Gerald, when he gets into the paint, it's very he confuses himself. That's what it looks like. He's either turning the ball over or unsure about whether or not he wants to attack. He just needs to start attacking. Uh, the three is going to come and go with him at best, but he needs to start attacking.
Tell you what, though, looking forward to a great weekend with the Lakers starting on Saturday. Of course, with the Lakerholics at noon. Laker Tom and Jamie Sweet from Lakerholics.com. And along with me and Sean Grice. Sean Grice is going to enjoy another Lakers weekend with you. Laker Nick is going to be stopping by. We've got some great conversations as well. Even Joe Sorrell hopefully will be on hand when we go live, playback.tv, South Lakers Fast Break at 4 p.m. Pacific. And then, of course, the best post game here, Lakers Fast Break, my friend.
Best
Absolutely.
one around.
Yep,
I
best one
mean,
around indeed, and the best chat room that's around right here for Lakers Fast Break. But Laker Nick, any last thoughts? Any wise information you have for us before we head on out?
No, just to thank the chat. It's been great to join tonight and have the interaction and get to know more folks from the LFB community. I feel that the LFB is only growing stronger by day, and I'm hopeful that tomorrow the Lakers are able to cement another win in Orlando. Hopefully, it's a very, very successful road trip, and I know the Magic Man appreciates it with East Coast time that he's on. And again, shout outs to Magic Man for always making the late nights and putting in the extra work for the LFB, as does Gerald and Joe Soro.
Cool Bro question. I've got two questions coming up. We're going to try and answer. Question for Gerald Cool Bro, from Cool Bro. What is your most anticipated movie releasing this month? I'd have to say, since unfortunately Dune Part 2, which I was looking forward to, it got pushed back from November to February. It's the Marvels. I know my daughter's waiting to see it, so we're going to go ahead and check it out. So I probably have to say it's the Marvels. Because of the SAG after strike, some of these movies have been pushed back to next year, and so that has kind of dissipated a couple things. Aquaman next month. Eh, I don't know, because the whole DC changeover thing. I'm not excited for any DC products right now, but we'll see. I know that I spoke earlier this week about in the state of pro wrestling. I talked about the Iron Claw with Zach Efron. That's going to be very interesting. I will have to go ahead and check that out during Christmas time when it comes to one of the possible award earners that's out there. We'll have to see how close it is to the product I remember here at pro wrestling in the 80s, but we'll see on that one. But Alan asking why the 5280 on the Denver court in Jersey. That's how many miles above sea level Denver is, Alan. So that's I guess it's 5280 is very common
in
that they know
Denver.
it. Yeah, in Denver. So Who
Yep.
is my favorite all-time wrestler? That is a great question. I'd probably say it's one of three, or actually one of four. I'll say Mick Foley, Abdullah the Butcher, the late Bruiser Brody, and I'd probably say Asuka because I really like some of the things that she's doing today for the WWE. Although LA Knight, yeah, he's getting right up there as well. But he's not going to win this weekend at Crown Jewel. They won't let him do it. God forbid. They would let somebody that's really popular win. Yeah, can't do that anymore. But I digress. Stone Cold, can't go wrong with Stone Cold. Absolutely. Or The Rock. Absolutely. Or The Rock indeed. But great talking to everyone. Cool Bro says, for me, anticipating Dune, Napoleon, and Thanksgiving. I don't know, Cool Bro. Your 14th does slasher movies. I don't know. Especially that Thanksgiving does not, to me, look. Forget about the fact it's a slasher movie. It looks like a cheap cash in movie, just to me. That's just my opinion. But it'll probably make a nice weekend of chunk of change and will probably justify having like 3 or 4 direct to home videos on that, editions on that, Thanksgiving for the return of turkey or something like that. But Dune is not until February, Cool Bro. So it's a bummer for us right there.
Yeah, my brother's looking forward to the release of Napoleon, just
Napoleon's pretty cool. Yeah, I think
from a
obviously Ridley
historical
Scott.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Blade Runner is one of my all-time favorite movies. So, and Gladiator and all that from Ridley Scott. So yeah, definitely looking forward to Napoleon. You said your favorite wrestler is AJ Styles. I've heard through the rumorville that he is actually on his way back and will be wrestling again. He's coming back off an injury, so he'll be back for the WWE real soon. So there you go. All right. A great topic for Friday night. Laker Nick staying up late with us. Magic Man, of course, staying up late as well. Rocking the new headset, sounding good. There you go. All right. I'm really happy for you. I heard no click, 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 click. There you go. No chick, 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 chick with the bracelet today, even though you do need it. So I do
yeah,
know why. I
yeah.
know why you need it, but it's just in post, it's like
I know, I
Joe will
know.
come up with a point. I'm really mad at those red click. Oh,
I just want Sora to know that I knew it was pissing him off, so I just did it on purpose after a while.
but it's hard for me. We've got hundreds of
Landscapes,
listeners. Uh,
landscapes,
All right,
landscapes,
landscapes.
landscapes. Do you remember that, Sorrow? I
Yes.
sure do.
Great game though with Warriors and Thunder. Such a shame that that's not the one that they aired on ESPN. But I don't know, this in-season tournament thing. We'll have to see. I'm not into it as yet, so we're gonna have to, bear with it. Nick, are you into this at all? I know you guys were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, no, for sure. Sean and I are people of wide and varied interests. So everything that you just talked about, whether it's movies, wrestling, I'll just mention my favorite wrestler. I think it's The Undertaker.
Ooh, I can't go wrong with that. Absolutely. I'm sure it's funny because now he's cashing in, still after cashing in for several years. But yeah, he's going on tour doing his solo act where he gets to talk about his past and
Oh,
yeah, or
Gerald,
or on Patreon. You can find out on
he
Patreon as well.
he had the ultimate man meme this year
Yes.
when a shark was swimming near his wife. She summoned the Undertaker, and the shark swam away.
Um,
Only the Undertaker could scare off a shark.
I have read actually, I listened to the audiobook. I was on a flight to Hawaii last year and I listened to the Dune book entirely after I watched the first film. Uh, I had actually, to be honest with you, Cool Bro, when I watched the first film, the David Lynch 1984 film, I thought that was so horrific, which is now a cult classic. It just recently was on Netflix. I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, if you've seen the original 1984 cult classic and quotations there, to me it's a very tolerable, highly intolerable movie. I really cannot watch it very well without laughing, but I do like Gurney. Patrick Stewart's Gurney was something I really like in there, and then Sting over the top. I would kill him. I would kill him. Sting was just so over the top and just having so much fun. I guess that made it tolerable. I guess so. I correct my previous statement. It's tolerable enough movie in regards to that. But when watching Dune, if you ever get a chance to check out those latest old episodes of the Pop Culture Cosmos where we covered Dune Part One, we called it one of the best movies of the year, and absolutely everybody gave great performances. So Josh Brolin's Gurney, I think to me was stood out. So I'm going to say Gurney as far as my favorite character for the book. Yeah. All right, going into Dune there, Nick. Did you watch Dune Part One, Nick?
I actually missed that one, Gerald, but
Do you have Netflix?
yep, yep, I do.
Then you can watch it right now because they've got it on there.
Okay, no, I'll
Uh,
definitely check it out. And yeah, I want to say that like I am looking forward to the Napoleon movie as well. I just want to mention that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great choice from Ridley Scott is one of my all-time favorite directors. Go ahead, Sean.
yeah, no, I mean, Gerald, the ice battle looks brilliantly shot. Like just in the, you know, 15-second rush that was shown in the trailer. That's probably Napoleon Bonaparte's greatest uh military strategy ever.
Yeah, I
And
agree with you on that. But I
like
will
it
cool.
was like it was like a spider leading 1,000 flies
Yes,
into the
absolutely.
web.
So I can't wait to see that. You're right, absolutely. I wonder how that's good. We saw a little bit in that in the teaser that they showed that it shows that battle. Cool Bro's asking what's the best movies of the year. From I think this is actually a down year for movies, to be quite honest with you. Oppenheimer is really good. I don't not ex- I, when I saw Oppenheimer, I thought it was really good, really well made. I don't think it's one of Chris. I don't think it's Christopher Nolan's best movie, but I do think it's really good. In fact, it probably is my top movie of the year so far. One of them, I shall say, because I have at the end of the year we do a best of pop culture for the year. So right now it's at the top of the list or near it. But I'm not as excited as I was last year, by because last year I had some a little bit more choices heading into November. So I didn't have to worry about just like cramming into November, December, and trying to see if I could find a best one. I had already seen everything everywhere all at once, and I thought that absolutely killed it. I thought that absolutely killed it, was sensational. And so I was already high up on that one as one of the best movies I had seen in quite some time. Oppenheimer is really good, but yeah, it's not, you know, I don't know. I think something can beat it, but I'm not sure what yet. But we'll see. We'll see. But wait, what are you watching Oppenheimer for? I thought it was rated R. Cool, bro.
That's all right. That's all right.
Mhm, mhm.
14 years old. He's good to go.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't we all sneak in as into the R movies at 14?
Yes, we did.
Yes, I don't want to be a
I
hypocrite.
know I did.
Yeah, I know I did too. I, I still got one time me and some friends watched one movie and then we snuck in to see the Robin Williams Popeye, but I forgot to tell my dad. So halfway through watching it, my dad comes like down the aisle, is like, Gerald, what are you guys doing here? I'm waiting outside of the car. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh gosh, sorry, Dad.
Yeah,
You saw trouble.
I
Okay, with
remember
your
the
dad, you know what? You saw it with your dad. He gave approval.
first
There you go.
R-rated movie I remember seeing when we snuck in, I think was Gladiator.
Yeah, but that's just got some violence on it. To, you know,
And
it's
some
over the top on
nudity.
us. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, but that's a good movie. That's actually a great sounding. The audio on that movie is crisp and clear. If you ever get a chance out there and you're watching it on digital, make sure you have the best sound system possible. Dolby Atmos, the whole 9 yards on that, because that is definitely a great movie to listen to.
Yes.
Yes. Listen to. Yeah, it's a what it's a visual spectacle and all that. Yes, absolutely. But listening is probably one of the best sounding movies of this century. So yeah, there you
What
go.
we do now, Gerald, will
Resonates
echo through
in eternity.
eternity.
Yes, absolutely. It will echo in eternity indeed. Laker Nick, appreciate it, my friend. We're just going off on a total tangent on a Friday night. Again, the play-in tournament. That's how well the play-in tournament, I think, excites us when we're talking about movies and stuff like that, streaming. I just don't. I'm just not thrilled. I'm just not excited by it. I just don't see the allure of it. Yeah, it's extra money for the players, Nick, but I just I just don't have it yet. Maybe if the Lakers are doing well, but then still I'm worried about that. Okay, maybe I might go see them here in Vegas, maybe not, maybe so, I don't know yet. But I would be worried, Nick. That means LeBron would be playing an extra game. An 83rd game would be on the slate for the Lakers. That would
Yeah,
concern me.
yeah, no, I agree with you, Gerald. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see how the in-season tournament shakes out, but I think what this conversation has informed me is that the LFB community at some point might need a Gerald Glassford and Sean Grice tutorial on movies, on
I will.
on what we should be watching and not watching, what's worth our time, what's good to see. So I definitely vote for that.
I will say, Darren, if you've listened to the Pop Culture Cosmos every year, I remind everybody that Die Hard is the best Christmas movie of all time. Magic Man actually appeared on the Cosmos to talk Five Nights at Freddy's last week. So hopefully get a chance to check that out. It was a great conversation. We had a lot of fun talking about that movie. Uh, it's so funny because, he watched it for the lore. I watched it for my daughter's sake, and we watched it for altogether different reasons, and we have different reactions to it. So hopefully people will check that out. But yeah, maybe that's something we could do, extra side shows, Patreon or whatnot. The upcoming is Magic Man and I talking about movies on the show. Joe and Magic Man, Nick, on the show, have always loved talking about The Sopranos and other shows and things of that nature. So that would be definitely something we could get into. I do want to mention that Alan, the movie reportedly cost for the Marvels about $275 million. If you include an advertising budget on that, plus whatever the studios take from it, you're probably talking about 650, 700, probably not 500, 700, probably before they consider that a break even at best. So I do not think the movie will. It may do 800, maybe, I have no confidence right now in Marvel Pictures right now. Their year has been all over the place, for both good and bad. Loki is started off rough, but it's gotten a lot better. uh, Secret Invasion was a disappointment. Ant-Man and the Wasp was Quantumania was a disappointment. So I don't know. I have no faith right now in the Marvel product. So the Marvels, it has to do probably about $800 million to start seeing a profit, and that's right now in this movie realm. That's really hard to do. Not many films have done it this year, so we'll see.
And Gerald, it's really you're right. It's been kind of it's really been a knuckleball uh, by the studios, and whether or not the audience hits it is up for debate. I mean, everybody thought after the
And you
momentum
remember,
that
Alan? Hold on, I'm sorry. Remember, Alan? Amazon spent $500 million just to get the rights to go ahead and do the Lord of the Rings show. So
and
go ahead.
completely butchered the source material for it.
Yep.
Uh, Gerald, yeah, after all the momentum that Oppenheimer and Barber created, a lot of people thought that would just synergistically affect Mission Impossible, and it didn't. There wasn't any roll. It wasn't rolled over at
Yeah.
all. That kind of momentum, and it was reviewed very well, as you pointed out in the pop culture cosmos, that the Mission Impossible movie was actually pretty good. Just
I
it
thought it
didn't.
was good, but it didn't make any because people are tired of it. People tired of the same old, same old. I thought
Mhm.
it was pretty good, but the audiences did resonate to it. It probably will break even at best, from what we're hearing. They've actually Paramount has delayed the second Mission Impossible. It's not coming out next year anymore. It's coming out the year after. So maybe to give a little bit of time buffer to hopefully get people excited again in regards to it. But yeah, just where Barbenheimer succeeded, so many other movies have failed this year, whether they're good or bad. The Indiana Jones movie, The Dial of Destiny, that's a miserable failure for Disney. That's not coming out to Disney Plus till December the 1st. So yeah, just kind of been a weird year for pop culture. Best One of the best years ever for video games, but certainly not one of the best years ever for movies. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. So, well, what a great conversation with the chat. You guys have been sensational tonight. You really carried us home. Laker Nick, outstanding job, and Sean, great. You guys, you guys brought it in for me. I just swooped in like God. Wasn't that correct?
That's what Mission 24 said. And
Yeah.
Mission
Mission 24.
24,
Thank you for
thank
the
you
super
so
chats.
much.
Yes, appreciate the super chats tremendously. It's awesome. They do help out our channel immensely because you can only get so much from the advertising when you see the commercials up on the screen. They don't, per view of those commercials, it is very small amount. So it takes a while for anybody to get any ad revenue as far as the channel. You have to be watched thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times in order for that to really be a part of what you're doing. So any contributions to us is a big, huge dent into what we can do as far as production. You've already seen it with Magic Man tonight. So I am ecstatic. I'm really ecstatic the fact that he has this new headset, and I'm really can't not thank the Lakers Fast Break audience for that as well. Laker Nick, we got to get Laker Nick a camera next. How about that? That's one thing we got to do next.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say, Sean sounds very crispy with the new audio. So big shout outs to Magic Man for the headset. He looks like he's like a full on reporter.
I appreciate that. So it's become full circle. You hear that? You hear that, everybody? The
Don't tell
flower, the
the Joe.
flower has now bloomed. Yes.
Yes.
So, do you see that now, Soro? Eat
Yes.
your heart out,
Well,
Joe.
see, Sora was never here for your shy days.
No, he
So
wasn't.
yes, yes. Laker Nick might have actually been watching when it came to around then, but yeah, it was, you were pretty shy, and you were always let Laker Tom walk all over, or talk all over you, and that I thought that was really unfair. We had Laker Tom and I would have like emails to each other, like, "Come on, he's here. He's given us time. He's given us great insight. Please let him talk." And then now it's just like, Tom, I'm talking. Gerald, I'm talking. Joe, I'm talking here. So it's like,
All
I'm so
right.
glad to see it. Cobra
I
says,
pre-
when I saw the first Terminator, my mom said goodnight because I was watching it late at night, and then Arnold said goodnight. Sean is the air traffic controller from Die Hard, not Carl Winslow. You know what? God bless Laker Tom. Part of it's because he just cannot hear. To be
hmm
honest with you,
Yep.
he is 78, so got to come. So sometimes it's hard to you realize when you get upset with what Laker Tom does or says.
He
You got to
can't
understand
hear. That's
he is
most of the
seven.
problem.
He is 78 years old, so we got to go ahead and bear with us. But he'll be on tomorrow along with JB Sweet. I'll let those two argue tomorrow and let them have some fun. But
Yeah, no, I was mentioning previously to Gerald that I felt like I needed a whistle
yes.
the last time they were just going at each other.
Yes. Yeah, Dante, he got a brand new headset. He wanted to try it out, and he sounds great. And I'm ecstatic that he was able to go ahead and do that. So truly appreciate him stepping that up, and I think it's really going to help us out, especially for those listening on audio. So absolutely. So, all right,
I
guys, go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Gerald, I was going to say yes. Thank you to this chat. It's been this whole experience has been just both unreal and fantastic at in the same breath, Gerald. Can't thank the our chat enough. I mean, there's nothing more valuable that people can give you in this life than your time. And so we just got to keep at it, man. Keep giving, keep delivering the goods, what people want.
That's what we're gonna try and do. I mean, we're here 7 days a week for you guys, and that's something that you hopefully you'll be able to tell others. If you could just help us out, like you're doing, like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever whenever you decide, if you're kind enough to go ahead and contribute, or even if you can't, because we know the financial world out there, we know the economy is still rough out there for a lot of people. But anything that you give to us is truly appreciated, whether it's your time, your views, your likes, your shares, subscribes. If you tell a friend, if you say, a Lakers fan in your life, that hey, you want to check out some really opinionated guys on the Los Angeles Lakers that feels quite often the way you do at home, that don't have a buffer, that don't have the Lakers that they have to worry about stepping on any toes, then go ahead, stop on by the Lakers Fast Break. So.
Gerald, Cool Bro has a question for you.
Oh, okay. Got to look. Joe, can you give me 5 horror book recommendations? I am reading Pet Cemetery and I'm trying to find the best horror books. That is a great question. I would start with Stephen King. Yeah, anything Stephen King would be, I'd go to. You guys, do you have any Stephen Kings? Because I'm bringing Mr. Mercedes is where I would go first. If you read the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, I thought that was one of the most faithful adaptations on video when I forget which the channel that did it, but when Brendan Gleeson did the Mr. Mercedes show, I really liked it. But yeah, the Mr. Mercedes books were really good. Sean, I'm about to think of some more here, but Sean, do you have any suggestions, or Nick, do you have any
I
suggestions on horror books?
Yes, I do, Gerald. If anybody out there, if you want to
It,
read,
yes, of course. How could I say yeah? It, of course.
if you wanna read a great
The Shining.
The Shining by Stephen King, also, yes. The book Survivor by Chuck Palahniuk, famous writer for Fight Club. Survivor is one of the best horror books you'll ever read. The one thing about Palahniuk is each of his books prose is very different, and he just goes at it in Survivor. It's incredible.
Any thoughts, Nick, on a famous book? Could you?
Yeah, no, I'd have to on the horror genre. I'd have to echo what you and Sean were mentioning about Stephen King. I actually think his first book, Salem's Lot, is a very strong book, often overlooked. It's a solid book, a fairly easy read, but being Stephen King's first published formal novel, I think it's worth checking out. Also, I see Alan putting in the chat Carrie. I think Carrie is also a very good book. It's actually kind of straddles the line between horror and science fiction.
I agree with
Um,
Darren that Michael, even though I love Steven Spielberg as a director, I'm not a big fan of Jurassic Park the movie, but Jurassic Park from Michael Crichton is a good read. Agreed.
yeah, no, yeah, Jurassic Park's also a great book and a great. I actually do enjoy the movie, Gerald.
If uh if Cool Bro, it might be a little adult, but
Well, if he's
American
gone to see
Psycho,
Oppenheimer,
yeah,
if you see Florence
American
Pugh in
So
Oppenheimer,
American Psycho by Bret
He's
Easton
good to
Ellis.
go, Sean. Like you said, he's good to
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
American
American
Psycho,
Psycho,
yeah,
Bret
that's American
Easton
Psycho.
Ellis,
Oh, and it,
Patrick Bateman.
if you watch The Last of Us, you watched that series earlier this year, one of the best television shows episodes of one television series of the year, excuse me. Check out The Road, the book and the movie from
Cormac
before two.
McCarthy.
Yeah, check out The Road if you're into zombie, but you don't want it overloading on the zombie, but you like that genre. There you go. I would probably say that over.
Gerald,
Rest in peace to Corbett McCarthy, by the way.
Yes,
hundred
absolutely.
percent. And Gerald,
And also Walter Davis. We didn't mention him earlier as well. Walter
do you know what
Davis,
do you know what it
great basketball.
considered it? Do you know what scientifically is considered the best weapon to have in a zombie apocalypse?
What would that be, Sean? Joe Soro?
No.
Okay.
Uh According to Max Brooks, who wrote a great book, and by the
Okay.
way, please pick that up, cool bro. Survival Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse
Yes.
by Max Brooks. A bike chain. A
And I
bike
know that
chain
led
is
into, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a bike chain is versatile. You can use it as a strangulation tool. You can use it as a throwing device. You could also use it to get away as fast as you can. You would think conventional weapons like shotguns, high loaded magazines would be effective, but no. Draws attention. You'll be surrounded by a zombie horde in no time and
And you
swallowed up.
don't need to see World War Z, but to me, I thought World War Z is a decent popcorn flick. So it's up to
Yeah,
you.
Hey, cool, bro. You don't need to write them down, brother. Just
Yes.
rewatch, and then take notes.
This,
yeah,
by the way, this pops up just to let you know, cool bro. It takes about a day, but this chat pops up if you watch the video tomorrow. Go ahead, Nick.
yeah. No, Gerald, I was just gonna say that if we think that Cool Bro is even though he's 14, and I guess we're assuming that he's ready to
We're just
go.
corrupting him at this
Yeah,
point.
it's, using Sean's term, if he's ready to go, why he should just be reading The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris.
Well,
Uh,
you as our legal representative are not, in case their parents, the parents can't come after us. It's just a matter of opinion only. Is that correct?
just opinion.
Okay.
We're speaking into a void right now.
Yeah, I want to put it into exactly. Just when you get older, how about that? When you get older of legal age, yes, absolutely. So yes, yeah, what you do on your own time is up to you. We don't want to bear any responsibility. Just checked out the disclaimer below, but a great
And
super chat from Dante. Thank you, Dante. Truly appreciate it, my friend. Truly appreciate it. Bow down to you.
absolutely. Love is love, and I appreciate everything Lakers. You never know what we go through in real life, so this is helps people get through more than you know. Appreciate you, Dante. Thank you
That's
very
why
much.
you are why we do this. These statements are exactly why we do this. Nothing but love for you, Dante. Appreciate it. That makes my day. That those you and the statements from everybody in the chat and the super chats earlier from Mission 24. Yeah, just absolutely make our day. Absolutely. Uh, even
Cool,
the yeah,
bro.
even the emails I got from Rodell. There you go. Just shows he's watching and listening to.
Yeah, you know what? Rodell is. I think he's turned a corner on us, Gerald. It's love
I
too.
invited him on the show. If anybody else wants to come on by on the show, we have an open door policy. It's like the old world class wrestling open door policy. You can come on down and share your thoughts with us. Scotty hit us up, Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. So,
So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We've been on here for almost 2 hours, and the audience has been fantastic throughout.
yes.
Thank to Laker Nick who dropped by, and he's a busy man, so we appreciate the time. And the Podfather who also dropped by.
Nick is just going back. He's going to go after the show and check out the legal claims, and he's going to have to rewatch the video just to make sure we don't get any legal trouble after that. All those suggestions do. Cool,
Yeah, we
bro.
might have to take this down. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Dante
I'm no big city lawyer, but
Dante, sleep and us are few and far between. We're just glad that we can go ahead and bring you good content. That's all. Oh, Darren said, when
beautiful.
I was 16, my dad didn't let me go to a concert in Hollywood on a school night.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I mean, Joe
Trust
Soros
me,
at
I
this.
lived through the 80s. I know how
Yeah,
that
you know
is.
what, Darren? Joe Soros is a disciplined parent as well. His children wanted to have a little sleepover themselves, and Mr. Soros, as a responsible parent, said, "Not tonight."
Yes.
So
Also,
it's
guys, Cool Bro says for those going to see Napoleon, I feel like you have to watch the Patriot. I don't know because you gotta. For me, it's just hard. I watched it, guys, but the only thing
because
is, you got to remember
yeah, I
it
get it.
stars two
I get it.
Australians.
Yeah, I get it though. Like
As
you're
an
talking
American,
of
it's hard for me to
you,
continuously watch that because it stars
the
two
the
Australians.
the manner no, but I understand where Cool Bro is coming from. The
Yeah, that's
manner
true.
of weaponry and tactical,
Yeah,
very similar to the American Revolution to the
I've seen it
first French
twice. So,
Revolution.
yeah.
But Napoleon Bonaparte is a very impactful person in that.
Kobe was a different individual altogether. That's why Kobe was Kobe. I may not be up to the challenge on that one,
Well, I mean, to be
even
fair,
though that sometimes I do only sleep for 4.
to be fair, Dante, I've said it before on this show. I'll say it one more time. I'll keep saying it. In the Mamba mentality, Kobe came face to face with a decision. He had a
Yeah,
decision to make. I need to devote every ounce of my life to basketball and my family,
yeah,
but I have to sacrifice something. So what's left to sacrifice, Cheryl? Sleep.
yeah. I hear you.
I'm not gonna sleep. So I've kind of adopted the same attitude, especially when it's a game changer right now. And whenever Gerald says, Sean, we need to go on, chop chop, let's go. Gotta answer the bell whenever the
Well, I
time's
wanted to make
right.
sure we got Nick on here, so that's why we adjusted from later to earlier. So, well, Nick said he could take time to speak to us today, and I always find it a better conversation if he's involved with us. So,
And
absolutely,
before we leave, as Gerald mentioned earlier, it looks like Dallas is
Oh
coming
yeah,
back to Earth
you could see that
tonight.
coming a mile away.
It's back to reality, and
Should have put money on it. Actually, there probably wasn't much money on it because it's heavy point spread. Yeah, plus it's Dallas
absolute.
and Denver.
So with that, I'll say goodnight to everybody. Lakers Fast Break crew. Thank you very much, Nick, Podfather Gerald. The
Well,
Lakers
last thing
Fast
by
Break.
Cool Bro. Okay, that's a very good question. I would say avoid the Walking Dead TV show because if you haven't started yet, you have to go through all 13 seasons. Then you have to go through all the spin-offs, which are still ongoing. And I don't know if you want to go through all the highs and lows of that because the highs of the Walking Dead are really high. The lows, as we saw near the end of the Walking Dead and some of its spin-offs, some of it's good, some of it's not so good. If you want to get into The Walking Dead, you have to do all of that, and that's covering over almost 200 episodes now. I'm not sure you're 14, so you'll be 50 by the time you're done. So there you go. Nick, any thoughts on The Walking Dead before we head on out?
I completely concur with you, Gerald. Your advice for Cool Bro, completely spot on, and I
Stick
trust you
to the books.
blindly. Yeah, no, I trust you blindly, Gerald, when it comes to media stuff. So everybody take Gerald's advice when it comes to movies and comics and shows, all of that.
It's a major investment of your life if you go get into The Walking Dead. But if you do, uh, take it up right till the first couple episodes after Negan appears, and that's where I'd go. But all those years leading up to Negan's appearance and whatnot. So that's
and
where I'd
and
go.
and,
It goes
and
really south after that. So
yeah, and some again, some of the best fictitious stories we've seen have been on the most grotesque and morbid
yeah,
concepts. And yeah, so
I like the One Piece series on Netflix. I thought it was pretty good.
yeah,
Should
it
you watch
was,
The
it
Conjuring?
was, it was.
That's different, Cool Bro, because there's only 8 or 9 films. You can watch the Nun films. So they're loosely related to each other. It's in the same universe. The Conjuring, the Nun. What else is in the Conjuring universe? I forget. There's something else in the Conjuring universe besides the Nun and the Conjuring. There's something else.
Isn't there the doll one?
Yeah, something. I think. Yeah, the doll one. Yeah, and that's like 9 films. You can get through 9 films. You'll be okay. Yeah,
Is that
that's totally cool.
silent something, Gerald?
I forget. I'm gonna look up the Conjuring universe before we head out. But it's 9. It's about 8, 9 films. Uh, it's so funny because Universal tried to give it paid $400 million for the Exorcist IP, and that tanked recently at the box office. And it's so funny because they tried to basically get the cheat code for trying to get into something like a universe like The Conjuring, and The Conjuring they just made for like $10 million originally, and look how it blew up from there. So.
Gerald, as you're looking that up, Dante has a question for you. Who else do you feature on the pop culture cosmos, Gerald?
Sean's been on there. I have a rotating. We have 2 main hosts. It's my awesome friends. That first one on Monday is Josh Peterson. He started the show with me. He is an awesome pop culture mind. He actually has the Happy Hoarder. That's his for a lot of pop culture stuff. If you're interested, you take a look at happyhoardercollectibles.com. Great guy, sensational knowledge on it. We truly have a great time every time we're on. We go back from our days at National University. On Fridays, I usually have Melinda Barkhouse Ross. She's a former Canadian radio. Actually, not. She's not former. She's actually a returning Canadian radio personality because she recently got back on Canadian radio throughout Canada. So she is on with me on Fridays usually. But I also have rotating guests come in from time to time. Like this latest episode, we decided we dedicated once a month to State of Pro Wrestling, which my friend John Orlando from the PVD Cast stops by. He comes in here once a month and we talk nothing wrestling for an hour and what the state of wrestling is between all the different organizations. Sometimes TJ Johnson, who you've known from this show early in its series, He was on a lot of earlier episodes. He comes on from time to time and talks video games and movies and pop culture. I have Ben Arnault from Australia from the Smoking Hot Conventions. He not only loves his pop culture, but he gives us great cooking tips. We go from consumer technology, we talk about collectibles, we talk about movies, television, video games. We touch on so much of pop culture on that show. It's clean. It's family friendly. I send it out to over 30 radio stations still to this day. I'm really proud of it. We've been doing this every week since 2016, twice a week, and hope you give it a shout out. Hope you get a chance, and I think you'll like it. I mean, each show is hopefully caters to someone else as far as TV, movies, and video games, and a whole lot more. So yeah, there it is. It's a lot of great people join it, and they always love pop culture. Last week I had on my good friend Dawn Fobbs. She was talking TV. She stops by once a month to talk TV. So yeah, a whole bunch of people love talking pop culture, just like tonight on the Pop Culture Cosmos.
Absolutely. And with
Sean
that,
Bryce even showed up. Yeah.
and I'll be
Hi.
showing up. I'll be showing up in November too because Gerald has to do a special pop culture cosmos on the anniversary of Thriller, the greatest pop
Yes.
album ever released.
Well, you know the documentary that just that's out there. So on Thriller that I believe is on the Paramount Network. So
I
we're
mean,
gonna have to
you
get some word on that.
yeah, we're gonna have to work on that, Gerald. But I mean, you talk about an album with just 7 strong singles. I mean, won't be touched ever again.
All right, here we go. The Conjuring universe starts off with The Conjuring, then goes to Annabelle. That's the one with
Annabelle,
the
that's the
doll.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, The Nun, Annabelle Comes Home, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and The Nun 2 is what the last one that came out. Simply said, it's probably one of the most successful horror IPs ever created because they were all made under a what 10, 20, 30, 40 million dollar amount, and the return on the investment for each one is astounding each and every time. It's like I said, Universal tried to do the cheat code and spend $400 million on The Exorcist to try and reboot that, and that was a flop last month. And that's because they're all trying to chase The Conjuring, and they don't realize that the best horror movies are the low budget ones. Those are the ones that seem to get everybody up to the theater for at
Gerald,
least the first couple weeks. That gets everybody talking.
so my brain's kind of a popping on this one. A great foreign horror
It's
movie.
both. Cool Bro, American Psycho is a movie and a book.
One of the
Great
best.
performance by Christian Bale.
Oh,
Great performance. Yes,
100%.
in the
Yeah,
movie.
absolutely. And Willem Dafoe plays a really like zany character. Like it's kind of offbeat for him. So
Yes.
that was kind of interesting as well. I will say, Gerald, before Pan's Labyrinth was released, Guillermo del Toro released a very scary movie called The Devil's Backbone,
Yep,
which
I've
take
heard of it.
place in
Not seen it, but I've heard of it. Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, that we've seen. That's a beautiful and haunting movie all in one. But Cool Bro says, think Silence of the Lambs, the book and movie too. Yes, reading the book first. Yeah, it is. I don't know how well it's aged. I haven't watched it in over a decade, but Silence of the Lamb at the time was an Academy Award winning movie. So, there you go.
Ted Levine not even being nominated for an Oscar is a
That was
crime.
that was a crime, and it's so funny because he's had such a good career, under the radar career after that. But yes, Ted Levine is definitely an underrated actor. Indeed, couldn't agree with you more on that.
Absolutely.
All right, I think Nick, we gotta get you. I know you're busy, my friend. He's probably done 2 cases in the time that we've been here. So,
Yeah, I'm defending a couple against the LFB that were just filed. So
oh my God.
I'm
Uh,
kidding, Gerald, but it's
You know,
been
Make
we're
sure the
you
defendant's name is Joseph Soro. Nick.
okay. No, that's right, Gerald. But no, it's been great to be a part of
getting
it.
getting
And
getting sued is almost as good as winning the lottery when you're
Well,
trying
what
to
state does
make it in the world, Nick.
Sean? What state does Nick live in?
California.
That's all that needs to be said. It's a rite of passage. I was told back when I lived there in the '80s that suing is a rite of passage in California.
that's
Very,
right,
very
Gerald.
litigious society, Gerald. We are a
Yeah,
litigious society.
but it's been great to join you guys, and I'll be and I invite everybody else to join in the chat. Whoever's watching, please join us on playback, and it's a great conversation, great community. Thanks again for hosting Magic Man and Gerald, and yeah, great to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Great to be part of it as well. Great to have you here. Tomorrow, Aliens, love it or leave it. I'm not a huge fan of the Aliens. Second movie is awesome. First movie is good. Second movie is awesome. It kind of went downhill from there for me. But you could take it or leave it on the Alien series. So leave that as it may. But that's up to you. But yes, tomorrow all starts off at noon with the Lakerholics previewing the Orlando Magic and the Los Angeles Lakers. Game time is on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Go ahead and join us there. Laker Nick, Sean Grice. I will try to pop in as well for playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then, of course, the best post game, including Alfred Esmond from Orlando Magic Daily. He is graciously coming back. He is excited to come back here and talk with us on the post game, win or lose. And I give him a lot of credit. Win or lose, he came on last time and he wants to do it again. Support him if you're an Orlando Magic fan or you want to know more about the Orlando Magic at orlandomagicdaily.com. He'll be on for with us on the post game. So definitely looking forward to that. Yes, Fall of the House of Usher. Speaking of Edgar Allan Poe, watch that series on Netflix after we're off the air.
But
Highly, highly recommend.
the first episode is very slow churning. It's slow churning that first
But it all
episode.
ties
But in,
into
so it's well worth it. It's going to be painful that first episode, but you'll thank yourself in the end.
cool,
And
bro.
by the way, the Simpsons, when they actually had very good writers, did a great Halloween um clip with the fall of the House of Usher with Bad Dream House. That was one of their best um Halloween shorts ever.
I will say my favorite class from high school. That's probably the most random one we've had on this show in 4 years. That's a good question, cool bro. But Laker Nick, your favorite class in high school? I'm gonna say mine was social studies.
Um, Probably English, Gerald.
Okay, Magic Man.
That would
Which
probably
one had
be
the best girls?
yeah, that would probably be math class. So I was
Okay,
surrounded by all the smart and pretty girls.
there you go. That's Magic Man to a T. Because I knew it was going to lead down that way. I knew it. Yeah.
Gerald knows me better than I know myself sometimes.
Oh, that's scary. That's scary indeed. But my friends, great having you here. Sean, take us on out, my friend. Before any weird off the wall questions hit our way as well.
Thank you very much to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Mission 24, Dante. Want to thank Darren, everybody, Alan, for showing up on a Friday night. We appreciate you guys. We love you.
Dante,
Uh,
big shout out to you. Cool, bro.
Everybody, please,
Darren,
please,
absolutely.
please,
Alan, yes.
everybody, we appreciate the time that you take, and we don't take it for granted at all. With that, we'll be back tomorrow with Laker Holic Spotlight, where I'm sure Laker Tom and Jamie will be doing their usual Waldorf and Statler. That's what I call them now. Even though Jamie looks like a 40-year-old man, he has the soul of a 90-year-old person. And with that, good night, everybody. Thank you for joining the Lakers Fast Break, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.
Take care, everyone.